I know that we say this all the time, but I absolutely mean it. Donald Trump has hit a new low. And this time, it's specifically about the issue of the genocide in Palestine. The stuff that we're learning and the stuff that he's saying is beyond inexcusable. It's absolutely grotesque. It's absolutely horrendous. It's absolutely bone-chilling how callous somebody could be to the immense and extreme suffering of others, brought about, by the way, by his own actions, continuing to send the money and the weapons as Israel starves over 1 million people. Let me walk you through this here. So first of all, we have this article that came out from Axios and this guy, Barak Ravid. And here's some of the details from that article. So he said the following. Over the past 6 months, Trump has given Netanyahu an almost free hand to do whatever he wants in Gaza, from military operations to hostage negotiations to the distribution of humanitarian aid. While White House officials say Trump is genuinely disturbed by the killing of Palestinians and wants the war to end, he has applied virtually no pressure to Netanyahu to end it in the last few months, according to Israeli officials. Quote, in most calls and meetings, Trump told Bibi, quote, do what you have to do in Gaza. In some cases, he even encouraged Netanyahu to go harder on Hamas, one Israeli official told Axios. So let's get this crystal clear. This is Donald Trump saying, you're doing a genocide? Okay, go right ahead. Speed it up a little bit. Do that for me. How many times did we see these stories from Axios, from Barak Ravid? Oh, Biden is really pissed off at Netanyahu behind the scenes. Oh, they're hitting a breaking point. Oh, they might fight and disagree. And then nothing would ever happen, and the policy would continue as is, where the U.S. would send more money, send more weapons, and Netanyahu would continue to commit war crime after war crime. Well, now, here you have the backstory on Trump, and they're not even bothering to do that propaganda. To say, oh yeah, no, he kind of totally disagrees, bro. Like, he thinks that it's kind of ugly what's happening and that maybe it should stop. They're not even bothering to say that. They're saying, yeah, he's like, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Finish the job. Do your thing. No rules. Encourage Netanyahu to go harder. To go harder. So this is Donald Trump just flat out greenlighting and signing off, not only on genocide, but on a starvation campaign that could kill over 1 million people, which, by the way, right now is at a tipping point. We're reaching the point of no return, where now we're already seeing waves of people, dozens of people drop dead from starvation, which means there's hundreds or thousands more to follow now. So this is what he's been doing. He's been green-lighting and cheerleading and broke out his pom-poms for the worst genocide we've seen in modern American history, with crimes that are on par with Nazi Germany. That's what Trump has been doing. But I'm just getting started here. So this is what we learned from behind the scenes, right? What's he saying in front of the scenes? Okay, well, when Trump was in Scotland, he was asked a question about Gaza, and here's what he says.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Say it.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
What did you say?
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Well, you know, we gave $60 million 2 weeks ago, and nobody even acknowledged it, for food. And it's terrible. You know, you really at least want to have somebody say thank you. No other country gave anything. We gave $60 million 2 weeks ago for food, for Gaza. And nobody acknowledged it. Nobody talks about it.
You have got to be kidding me. The United States has sent billions of dollars to Israel in money and weapons. Those weapons have been used to carpet bomb innocent people on a daily basis. Those weapons have been used to block any humanitarian aid, food, medicine, etc., from getting in there to help the people. You have starving populations with old people and children looking like bags of bones, hanging onto life by a thread, and many of them not hanging onto life and dying. And your response is, can we get a thank you? We sent some food. Can we get a thank you? Where is that food, bitch? It's sitting at the border being blocked by Netanyahu, which is something you greenlit and you approved. The thing that drives me extra crazy about this current era, guys, everybody to one extent or another is used to living in a barbaric, disgusting world where violent crimes are committed. Everybody knows that. The history of humanity is a history of barbarism and savagery and backwardsness and primitivism, right? But the part that I'm struggling to wrap my mind around is how the immense web of lies that's used to justify what we're witnessing. Netanyahu will go give a speech, and he talks in Hebrew, and he says, yeah, we're not allowing any food into Gaza. Maybe we have to allow in a little trickle to shut up the international community, but really we're just blocking all the food and letting them starve to death. Then he gives a speech in English and says, how dare you spread the anti-Semitic lie that we're not allowing food into Gaza? What? So just brazenly, openly saying one thing to one audience, one thing to another audience. And by the way, people just run with this shit. And now here's Trump. He knows people are starving in Gaza. He knows they're blocking the food from getting in there. And he has the nerve to say, can we get a thank you for sending food that's rotting at the border that nobody's even allowed to eat because you haven't put the screws down on Netanyahu and Israel? And he knows he's lying. He knows he's lying. But this is what he goes with. This is what he says. We're not done yet, though. We still got a lot more of this fucking cretin and the stuff he's saying.
And it makes you feel a little bad when you do that, and, you have other countries not giving anything. None of the European countries, by the way, gave. I mean, nobody gave but us. And nobody said, gee, thank you very much. And it would be nice to have at least a thank you. And I took a lot of heat. When I do that, a lot of people aren't happy about that because they say, well, why are we doing it and nobody else? But I think we had a humanitarian reason for doing it. What's going to happen? I don't know. I can tell you that Hamas, as I said, would happen at the end. We've gotten back a lot of hostages, a tremendous number of hostages, most of them. Now we have dead hostages, and the mothers want them back.
Still not done. Here we go. Same meeting. Listen to what he says here.
When you were in the Middle East, you talked about the images coming out of Gaza and the starving kids. Those images are still going. Many of them are much worse. Thinner children, starving. What do you see or feel when you look at those images today?
Well, it's terrible. When I see the children, and when I see, especially over the last couple of weeks, and people are stealing the food, they're stealing the money. They're stealing the money for the food.
That's a lie. This is a total fucking lie. Yeah, they're stealing the... No. You know who's stealing the food? It's Israel, because they are blocking the food from getting in. Nobody's stealing it. There's this bullshit fucking zombie lie that floats around that, Hamas is stealing all the food, and that's why people in Gaza can't eat. There's only 30 or 40,000 Hamas members. There's about 1.8 million people in Gaza. You're telling me 30 or 40,000 were hoarding the food for 1.8 million? No, that's total nonsense. Israel is just not allowing in the food at all. But what did happen was Israel was paying jihadist gangs to steal the food when they would allow in the tiny little bit of food they would allow in. They paid jihadist gangs and cartels to steal that food. That's what actually is happening. There's detailed reporting on that, and we covered it here on this channel. But here's the fucking zombie lie. Somehow, it's always Hamas's fault. Doesn't matter what the facts on the ground are. Doesn't matter what the reality of the situation is. Somehow, jiu-jitsu move, blame Hamas.
They're stealing weapons. They're stealing everything. It's a mess. That whole place is a mess. The Gaza Strip, was given many years ago so that they could have peace. That didn't work out too well. When Israel gave that up, whoever was the prime minister at the time, who I know who it was, but it was not exactly a very clever thing to do, because that was given so that they finally have peace, and it's actually made
this is more bullshit, Hasbara. Israel pulled out of the Gaza Strip, so why isn't there peace? They started to militarily occupy it and treat it like an open-air prison. In no sense of the word is that giving it up, as if they have sovereignty. They didn't have the right to have their own military. They didn't have the right to have their own airport. They didn't control their own borders. Israel didn't allow the food in or the goods in that they need. This is such fucking horseshit. This is all right-wing, Likud, Hasbara, claptrap bullshit that he's spewing.
But we'll see what happens. I think Iran is acting up. I think that we have a lot of people...
Bro, what? What? You're asked about the starving kids in Gaza and you say, I think Iran is acting up? What are you talking about?
We have Venezuela acting up.
You've got to be kidding me. This has got to be a joke. This is a sick joke. You're asked about starving babies in Gaza, and now you're talking about Venezuela?
They continue to send people that we rebuff to our border. They continue to send drugs into our country, Venezuela. They've been very nasty, and we can't let that happen. But we have other countries too. We do have, and this is just getting a little off subject, but we have now the safest border we've ever had.
Oh my God. 25th Amendment, dog. He's not there anymore. This is wild. Now you're talking about the border when you were asked about starving kids in Gaza? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's like he's going through his Rolodex for his rally speech or some shit. He's like, there's a camera. I'm talking. Rally speech? Sure, rally speech. What are you doing? Like, he goes to these places and it's like, he goes through a list of like the issues that he likes to talk about. So like, the border's really strong. Border's really strong. They're treating us very unfairly. They're not treating us fairly. He goes down the list like, these people love me, these people hate me, we like these people, we don't like these people. Like, what is this? The brain is like mush. It's morphed into fucking oatmeal right in front of our eyes.
And I think in many respects we probably have the most successful, and I say it all the time, every leader, when I went to NATO the other day, every leader said, you have the hottest country in the world. We have...
They say, sir, you're incredible, sir. Sir, is that your penis? That's a large penis, sir. It's one of the biggest penises. People say it's the best penis. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. You're asked about fucking famine and children dying of starvation because of your policies, and you're babbling about this? They say we're the hottest country in the world. He acts like he's talking about a fucking nightclub in West Palm Beach in 1998 that he used to visit with Jeffrey Epstein.
The hottest country in the world. Yeah. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We have the highest stock market we've ever had. We have the best numbers we've ever had. But we have hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our country. This is insane. People used to talk about Joe Biden and how his brain was failing and how he couldn't give a direct answer. What the fuck do you think this is, bro? What do you think this is? He's asked about Gaza and he's rambled about every issue except fucking Gaza. What are we talking about? But I'm still not done with him yet. So this might be the lowest of the low. Here, Trump is going to say that, Palestinians, I mean, look, I think they want to die. I think they want to die. So what we're learning is, as we saw from the Axios article, Trump effectively greenlit the starvation and killing of over 1 million Palestinians. And here he is saying, I guess they want to die. It looks like they want to die.
They pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal.
That's a lie. Hamas offered Israel all the terms Israel said they wanted. They were willing to give up every hostage. Hamas was willing to lay their weapons down and leave Gaza. This was on the fucking table. And Israel said no. They didn't want Hamas to leave their weapons and leave Gaza. They didn't want that. Why? Because then they didn't have the perpetual boogeyman that they could use, which justifies in their mind the mass slaughter and genocide and extermination of an entire people. There's no more boogeyman. You can't rationalize cracking down on this whole population anymore. So it was Israel that rejected Hamas dropping their weapons and leaving. This was a huge story. Shout out to Dropsite News. They got us this information. The entire time, Israel and the U.S. have not been negotiating in good faith, not even close.
Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad.
I think they want to die. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind?
It got to be to a point where you're going to have to finish the job.
You're going to have to finish the job. Spell that out for me a little more clearly. What does that mean? It got to a point where you're going to have to finish the job. That sounds like exactly what it is. Hey, you're going to have to kill the rest of them, kill them, starve them to death, maybe round them up, send them to Libya, make a deal with somebody and just ethnically cleanse the region and take it. And this is why this guy that you're looking at right here, he was talking about owning Gaza, taking over Gaza completely. That's why he was running that AI-generated video where there's like Trump Casino and Trump Hotel on the beach in Gaza and him and Netanyahu sipping mojitos by a pool. Because this is what he's thinking. Finish the job. Finish the job. Has there ever been a genocide more clearly broadcast in front of everybody? Every single second of it live streamed? Every single human rights organization on the planet with their hair on fire, screaming about what's happening, screaming that it's unacceptable, screaming that babies are dying, screaming that no food is getting in and no medicine's there, and they're amputating arms and legs of children with no anesthesia because there's no medicine whatsoever. Has there ever been a genocide so thoroughly covered from every angle? And have we ever had leaders this disgustingly obtuse and callous and disconnected from the pain and suffering that they're inflicting on the world?
Don't forget, we got a lot of hostages out. So now we're down to the final hostages, and they know what happens after you get the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that.
Whoa, that's quite an admission. He's saying, well, they don't want to release the final hostages because they know what happens after that. Well, what happens after that? Spell it out for us, Donald. What happens is Israel really goes ham and just destroys the rest of Gaza, kills the rest of the people, right? But even that's not true because, like we said, they offered to give up all the hostages. It was Israel that rejected it. The idea that Israel cares about the hostages or they're prioritizing the hostages is a fucking fantasy based on all of the evidence from the ground. Like, Priority number one became, let's ethnically cleanse Gaza and let's reoccupy it. That became priority number one. Don't take my word for it. Take Ben-Gvir's word. Take Smotrich's word. Take all these far-right Israeli ministers. Because they're the ones who are saying it, not me.
So they pulled out, and they're going to have to fight, and they're going to have to clean it up. You're going to have to get rid of it.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. So that's Trump saying, hey, they want to die. This was like, in a short time span, this was like 3 or 4 separate genocidal outbursts from our bloated, geriatric, demented, deranged, degenerate, fascist prick of a leader. That's what that was. Genocidal outbursts. And I don't know how, I mean, shit. I know we say this all the time, but how are we going to get through 4 years of this, bro? How are we going to get through 4 years of this? So not only is our government arming and funding a genocide, but also basically outright saying, we're committing genocide. And all these people, they want to die, so who cares? Right? Hey, can we get a thank you? All your people are starving to death, but can we get a thank you? Because we sent some crumbs that didn't even get into you? Can we get a thank you? Again, I've never seen a situation. We've seen barbarism before. We've seen savagery before. We've never seen barbarism and savagery mixed with this arrogance and certitude and relentless stream of lies. Even though we know the truth, we see the damage that's being done, we see the deaths, and they just spin it and don't care. And they say, no, that's not, don't believe your eyes. Believe me. Don't believe your eyes. No. It's whatever. It's fake news. They should be thanking us. Like, the depravity of what we're witnessing is something I'll never be able to wrap my mind around. But now you know. From that Axios reporting, zero pressure put on Netanyahu. Why? Because Trump is absolutely okay with all these people dying. That's why he's arming it. That's why he's funding it. That's why he lifted. Biden didn't put many rules on Israel, but one of the rules was a moratorium on using those 2,000-pound bombs in civilian areas. Guess who lifted that moratorium? Donald Trump, because he doesn't care about these civilians. He doesn't care. Not in the slightest. So Mr. No New Wars, I'm the peace candidate. Apparently he's A-okay with arming and funding a genocide and giving a green light to wipe out over 1 million people. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.